Cap. Hi, welcome. It's Erin Scott here with the Alchemy of Holism. And I'm set up here with my paper. I have my gouache paints here and my charcoal pencil. And I also have my Siri deck. I'm going to pull, well, I'm pulling cards as necessary, but at a minimum, I'm going to pull a guidance for you for the month, some aid to help you process this month ahead. Now, I always work with the new moon cycles. We are tapping into the natural evolutionary growth arc of, for you, the Capricorn archetype. You know, there's a certain cosmological unfolding that is impacting you in a specific way. It does impact the decans in a different way. You know, the first 10 degrees, second and third 10 degrees. So but in a generalized way, there's an archetypal growth happening, right? And this is what we're tapping into. So what I do is I'm just pulling through colors, images, forms, numbers, spatial relationships, whatever it is that wants to come through. And yeah, and we always work with the new moon cycle. So this one, I'm filming this on the 15th of June. But this is for the Gemini new moon cycle where we had sun moon conjunct at 2244 degrees Gemini 2 days ago. And this is for your month ahead, this natural evolutionary arc. We're in an intense time, you know. You're feeling it. You've been feeling it with Saturn in your sign and Pluto having had been in your sign since 2008, Black Moon Lilith in your sign. It's full on for all of us, but you're definitively feeling great transmutation occurring within you, no doubt about it. As our government systems and the systems of our society that are set up that are unsustainable, they're collapsing. And that's happening with the Capricorn individual as well. All right. Now, let's take a look. I'm going to tap in here. So give me a second. I'm going to be quiet for a minute and let's see what wants to come through for you. I wonder if you can hear the wind, Cap. Right now, it's a beautiful day here. It's a little bit cool, interestingly, but not unusual, actually. Meaning this particular state does, in fact, have very cool weather year-round. But cool day, but beautiful. Just gorgeous. We just had rains. There's this maple tree outside that is just this kind of vibrant, it's high, it's a very tall tree. It's very vibrant. It's like that lemon lime green, you know. And there's wind going through the leaves. And I wonder if you can hear it. I need to think about this actually, because there's not, usually there's stuff that really just flows out. This was definitive. The horizon line was very clear. Let's see here. Let me see. So Cap, you're getting a lot of like linear aspects here. You have the horizon line that's very straight. You have kind of this perspective, which is a little bit hard to see. You know, you have like, there's a zoning in on the horizon line. Okay. And it's leading toward not a whole expanse of ocean or a whole expanse of sea. It's not the horizon line looking at the ocean. It's just this middle component here. And behind that is a cloud. This is a cloud. Let's see here. So Kat, there's this cloud, not necessarily a dark storm cloud, but a kind of a grayish cloud, okay? But it has these black line only. There's no color that wants to come. There's like these emanating rays out beyond the water and out beyond the cloud, emanating from it. There is, what I'm getting from this is that there is, first of all, that you're planning. Now, I've gotten this for you before, and it's not unusual. With all of the transmutation of the Capricorn structure, whether it be your bones or your actual physical body, or whether it be your work and the stuff that you're doing in the world, your career and your work in the world, there's a transmutation happening. And with that, there is going to be naturally planning, you know, that wants to happen. Here I do get this particular month that you're planning. You're looking ahead. You're looking ahead, and you're doing so optimistically, because ultimately this is all yellow. The black lines are kind of focusing in on the viewpoint, but you're optimistically kind of looking ahead logistically for the next year, perhaps. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It could be that some of you are looking ahead for the next 8 months or so, maybe until about next spring. Maybe you're starting to plan the rest of your 2018 and the beginning of 2019. There could be some way by which you're looking at your own future logistically, but optimistically. And it's also free will choice here, meaning you're putting your efforts in with joy, but also you're putting out your desires with this yellow. In fact, I want to even add more, because it does feel bright, even though you have this cloud, which we're going to talk about, okay? Okay, so I do get the energy that there is this kind of way by which you're looking ahead and you're planning and you're being methodical about it with your finances, with your desire set. I have to say, too, for some of you, this has to do with location. And I'm saying that because it's like you're looking at the horizon line and almost beyond the water, because water can represent our emotions, also our intuition. But it could be that you're looking ahead, maybe at the potential. Some of you might see the potential for some cloudiness ahead or some deep emotions ahead. But you also see potential. The thing with these lines coming out in this future perspective point with no color is that there's possibility, there's potential. It's not defined yet. You might not know. I actually think, to be honest, I think that this cloud, this gray cloud, might represent unknown. You don't know. It's a little bit foggy and fuzzy here about what exactly is in the future. You're wanting to plan. You are actually looking to kind of lay out your game plan for the next year, 2 years, 5 years, whatever it is. Which, by the way, I'll just say, you want to be careful with that, because life is changing. Life will change wholly, like in a radical way, in the next 7 to 10 to 15 years. In the next 7 years, we're going to see radical change. Radical change. And so I would actually urge you to plan ahead in little increments, because you're going to need to learn, like we all need to learn, to be malleable and to be resilient with shifting realities. So I really will say to you, this gray cloud might indicate that you can't see beyond a certain point in your future, or you're just confused, you don't know. And the thing is, you don't know. None of us know. In a very real way, we don't know what's going to happen, because we're at this place where potentiality could actually take root, and a new, it's like that strange attractor in chaos theory. In systems, there could be something that comes in that actually takes it in a whole new direction. That could be quite positive. It's not like there's the fated unfolding of death and devastation. With the mentality of humans where it is now, could be that people are very asleep. Very asleep. I'm still, I just continue to be stunned by it. Very asleep. So I see that this for you is lack of clarity. You're wanting to plan, you're starting to plan, and you go to a certain place this month. You go to a certain place of planning. You might feel a little emotionally overwhelmed when you start to look too far ahead. That might be it. But I do see that you're optimistic. I see this planning is optimistic, and I also see that you also, at some level, you see potential in the future. You don't know what it is yet. It's not quite clear. I want to pull a card. Let me pull a card for the cloud, the gray, and see what's coming up there. Because it's interesting, this gray is emanating like it would the sun, like the sun's rays, It's very interesting. Let me look at this. So I'm going to pull a card here. So for Capricorn, for the gray cloud. So important, urgent with Yogi Bhajan is coming up. I want to pull another card. It could be that you're taking things too seriously too. That's also what I'm getting. Is that, so this is important, urgent, serious, okay? Now, what I'm getting here is that you could be taking things much too Saturnian. Now, keep in mind, Capricorn, the archetype of Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, and Saturn's currently in Capricorn. Saturn is working to manifest, to make manifest all the stuff that Pluto has begun the destruction path since 2008. So with systems and the financial system and government and all kinds of the societal organized systems that are in play that have been human-made, human-created, and imbalanced, not set on strong foundations of integrity. They are crumbling, and Saturn is going through rebuilding it. But Saturn can also be quite serious, because it wants to manifest. It hones and it constrains because it wants to focus energy and intention in order to manifest form. It could be that you're looking out with a bit of a serious outlook. Let me pull another card, though. Too serious. We all have to learn to become lighter. And I would say for Capricorn, it could very well be that as well. We all have to. Take things much lighter. Yeah, thought and consideration. You're thinking things a little too seriously. So it could be that as you're joyfully planning ahead, you might be really overly focused out here in the distant future, or even a few years out, 3 years out, 5 years out. You might be thinking, I can't see the future, but it's important that I get it right. It's important that I plan now for 401k, for retirement. I have to tell you, everybody, the systems that we now know as the norm in society, they're all transmutating everything. So be light with it. Be light with it. Learn to live more simply. I mean, not everybody's gonna understand or resonate or want that, but life, do what you want to with life. Have the desire, the bliss point, pull you accordingly to your own resonance factor. But know that life as we know it is changing. And so if you stay attached in a serious way via your considerations and thoughts, if you stay hyper attached to some sort of a specific outcome that you want for yourself, you're going to get disappointed. It's not that you might, you will. You will. Okay? So be optimistic in your planning, but try to hold the distant future with a little bit of lightness. Okay? Now, let me go ahead and pull a support card for you for this month ahead. Now, for those of you interested in understanding your soul print, your mastery trajectory, the wound sets that are the unconscious drivers that are creating your externalized reality for yourself, be in touch. Understand the soul print and understand the holosynthesis work that I do. If you're interested in getting clean and clear and free, you can go to the alchemyofholism.com. Protection. I love this for you. Now, this particular card is the aid, something for you to tap into to help your journey over the course of this month, where you might be taking things a bit seriously as you look ahead, as you plan your life, as you plan the logistics of your life. Protection is talking about, know that you're held. Even though life is, you know it, whether it's your family unit or whether it's your work scenario and the work situation that you're enmeshed in, or that of your spouse or partner, know that you're held, that there is first of all, inherently you're held. Just inherently. So when physical reality starts to disintegrate, life holds you, source holds you, your core holds you, you're held. So know that you're protected via life, via source, okay? That's your core. But also trust in the bigger narrative. There are bigger narratives in the bigger holonic structures of reality that are playing out. They're playing out. And we have to trust that life is intelligently self-organized, which it is. We have to trust that in order to let go of it. We don't have to control everything. We can't control everything. So indeed, some of the stress or tension or seriousness of your thoughts about what's ahead, oh my God, what's lying ahead for the financial markets? What's lying ahead for my work? There's been talk about layoffs. There's been talk about the corporation closing, all of that stuff. Trust it. Trust it. Because the things that are collapsing need to collapse. And we are all, humans as a whole, are called to become more malleable with the disintegrating physical realities that we hold as truth, and more resilient, because humans are called, the human ego structure is called to become more like its own nature, which is like nature, which is resilient. So trust. You are protected inherently. There's no way it could be anything else. Okay? It sounds simplistic, but in a way, it's very simple. Systems are complex, but actually they're very easy to understand. You know, there are certain basic organizing principles to all living systems, including the soul. So if you're interested in learning about your soul structure, about the soul print, the soul's blueprint, go to the alchemyofholism.com. You can learn about my services. For those interested in weekly live streams, to participate in weekly live streams, with my members. I'm using Patreon as a membership portal now, versus a patron portal per se. So you can find the link for that below. There's also monthly coaching help available for aid to get clear and get free. Okay. Much love, Capricorn. I'm sending you lots of support for your journey of planning ahead. Have fun with it. Be in joy. And I'll talk to you soon. Bye.